What's up, my loves? Alicia Tatiana here. I'm gonna do a quick reading for the Sacred Serpent. I've been asked just to come in and just get it done. So, right away we get the Hermit card. The Hermit card represents Virgo season. So what perfect timing to get the card. Really going within. Really sitting with ourselves. And what I'm hearing is, sitting with ourselves within, communicating with ourselves. Sorry, let me turn this down. Really having a stronger communication with ourselves at this point. So, real quick on the Virgo energy. So when I think of Virgo, I think of Mercury. Mercury rules over Virgo and Gemini. Okay, Mercury is known as the messenger of God because it is the closest to orbit the sun, right? It's the closest planet to the sun. So, it knows the sun very well, obviously, right? It's the closest. It's a very quick planet, so it's very quick to learn, quick to orbit, in that way. What we can say, is it's quick to have that year's worth of what we can call kind of like a year's worth of knowledge, a lot quicker. And so this card, or this Mercury energy, is a very good communicator, okay? Because we have the closest relationship to the sun, we have the closest communication to consciousness, that consciousness energy. And so Gemini really gets hit with the communication of our throat chakra, okay? And Virgo season gets really hit with the communication of our belly, of our digestive tract, of our gut feeling, right? Our gut brain, our intuition, in a sense. And it really, this gut brain can be one of the strongest communicators to us if we truly, have that good diet, have that good, fluid levels of water, and also, nurturing our stress levels at the highest, because what we're producing chemically really has a lot of say, as to what our different organs are doing. We're super stressed, our tummies are going to be a lot more tightened, and right now the energy is like kind of 20-fold, because once, we are in the Virgo season, but two, we just had Mercury in Virgo, so it was in its home space, which was a lot of energy when it is there. But then also we're going to be going into a retrograde where Mercury is going to come back to Virgo. And we're going to be doing a whole review of our Mercury energy, which is communication, connection, and how we commune and we communicate with people, and we connect with them, right? Hold hands, touch them, how we connect with our eyes, yeah. It's like, how we connect with people is how we hear them, see them, smell them even, maybe taste, touch, all of these, really upper realm chakras and areas, right, that help us communicate and help us take in communication to us, right? By seeing, hearing, smelling, all of these things, touching, right? Feeling, connecting, correct? So Virgo is more of the lower realm chakras and communicating with that, right? Communicating with the digestive tract, the solar chakra, even the sacred chakra. When we start to get lower into the realms, Libra is all about the kidneys, the balance, of the masculine and feminine energies, but also going into Scorpio season, we're going to be getting highlighted in the sacral area. And the fact that the eclipses are going to be in Scorpio and Taurus, those nodes, the Scorpio highlight is going to be very interesting when it comes to our sacred chakra. Our genitals, our womb spaces, all of our sexual energy. So we're getting a lot of upgrades in this area, in this intuition, where we are actually connecting with the outer world. We're taking in energies from the outer world, but we are being communicated in a whole other way. That's why they have the chakras. There are these wheels, right? They're kind of like these epicenters, this like seed aspect of us, where these that's where like the roots of this whatever, this we'll say, this wheel, this we could even represent it as a flower, where it's receiving high amounts of energy and pulling it in. We can even think of them as pyramids in those areas, and the solar energy that is coming down is being hit on top of that pyramid, that representation of the highest illumination, right? So so that pyramid top is close to the sun, right? So we're receiving higher illumination the closer we get to that top of the pyramid. And the stronger we want the top of our pyramid to be, which would be kind of up here, right? The stronger we need to have the foundation of what's actually the foundational, what's actually connecting here on earth, what's actually here on earth, is what Spirit's telling me, right? So again, that's the Virgo area. This is where we're really being highlighted, how we connect with the outer world. And some of us get really overwhelmed at this point, because we've been highlighted. There's been so much highlighting of our subconscious space, our conscious space, right? Like I say, the moon season with Cancer, and then the solar season with Leo, right? That those two luminaries, right? Those two lights of ours here on Earth highlighted all this fucking shadow, really, really exposed a lot of shadows, right? And so what we're doing right now is we're doing the cleanup work. And that is what Virgo is as well. The cleanup work. Where we excrete a lot, from this whole entire belly cavity, right? This is our cleanup spot, right? This is where we, where we make urine and everything in our digestive tract, right? So what we're doing at this point is we're cleaning up this area. And that's what really comes with that Virgo virginness, that purity. Okay. And, it's kind of also how I like to look at it too, is it's kind of like we're reaping our harvest right now, right? Fall season. A lot of things are being harvested at this time. So it's kind of like us harvesting this old stuff, really coming to illumination of how much abundance we've grown, right? And having everything at its peak illumination, right? Its peak growth of the summer season, that we now can take that and now we can clean and till the soil for what? To cleanse it, to purify it for what? Next year's growth, right? Because what we do with that soil has so much to do also with next year's abundance, right? Really purifying and clearing up our shadows. Why do we want to do that at this time? Because we're falling into the dark times. And, you know, it's dark goddess season now. Where we travel into the underworld, you know. Travel into these dark times, you know, like the Persephone journey where she has to visit with Hades during the winter time. And Demeter, her mom, the goddess of agriculture, shut shit down, right? She wipes out all the harvest, right? Winter comes, she makes it cold, she makes it where things can't grow because her daughter Persephone has to make the journey into the underworld to satisfy Hades, right? So this timing can also be looked at the timing of Mary Magdalene. When you know the true story of Mary Magdalene. And yes, she housed a lot of women that would use their bodies in sexual ways to help teach men how to love women, okay? And that is a very dark and very vulnerable place to be, but it is necessary. There is a necessity for these places that people can go to learn how to connect, and they can learn how to make love, and they can learn how to make this such like, you know, being like God, really, right? We're creating human beings, right? Making this space that is so detrimental and so pure for our existence, right? That we have to learn how to see the dark side of things, right? To be able to put that to death and to resurrect it into the light, right? And that is Mary Magdalene's, you know, part of the story that has been X'd out, because, you know, if we as human beings learn that there's a whole process that we must go through when it comes to cleaning, you know, to ascending our sexualities from this lower human base, right, where we're needy for it, where we're, you know, we're controlled by it, right, to where we can ascend it and we can make love with our minds and with just touching our bodies and not even having to open up, you know, if you choose to be at that level, right? Or a lot of people are getting downloads right now to have about sexual transmutation, meaning we learn how to bring these sexual energies from the lower realms up to the heart and up to the throat, where we're using our expression to create as well, instead of just from the lower realms. Because our throat chakra and our, you know, our sacred chakra are both, they're interconnected. So, you know, that's why a lot of people are struggling with such sexual issues, because we don't know how to get that energy from these lower realms into these higher realms. Okay, because our expression and who we are and who we, you know, really put ourselves out there to be is how we create ourselves in this world, right? So if we don't know how to show up, create ourselves, express ourselves from the true authentic space of going through that, bringing up these earthly based energies up through the heart, which is heart opening, right? Where we learn unconditional love, that immaculate heart, right? Where our heart's on fire. And those energies can be brought up to the throat, where we express and we teach and we commune and we communicate and we express, right? And that's what's going on. A lot of big upgrades in this expression area right now, because of those Mercury vibes. Mercury will hit not only the Gemini Mercury part of it, but also the Mercury intuitive aspect of it, right? And that it's also this grounding of where we purify, right? As the Virgin of the zodiac, the Virgo of, you know, of the zodiac would. So purifying for what? Well, funny you ask. No, I'm just kidding. Libra season is going to be a very heavy karmatic season. I'm just going to put that out there right now. Because Saturn has been in retrograde since the summertime. He's been watching over us and how we go about our power, our structure, our karma, you know, creating good karma or bad karma, right? And really being the judge of that, you know. Saturn really rules over our patriarchy, right? So that's why our patriarchy is so adamant about worshiping Saturn through wearing black and blue. And, you know, we see the policing, they wear the star that is seen on Saturn, right? And that is because it is the judge of the planetary, you know, in the zodiac and in astrology, right? So because of him being in review and kind of, okay, well, let's take a step back and let's see what happens when I kind of, you know, sit back and watch. Hopefully you've been good and you got good karma and you have been cleaning up your karma, because when it comes Libra time, we talk about the scales, we talk about balance, right? And when we're coming into the underground, sometimes we have to come to the judge, right? And seeing, hey, were you a good person? You know, can we weigh your heart against the feather? You know, like when we talk about the goddess Mott. And, you know, will it be heavier? And will you have to reincarnate back into the 3D, into the matrix, right? Or can you ascend and resurrect into from a higher space, right? So that is what Libra season is going to bring to us, and it's going to start closing out the Saturn retrograde, right? So if you don't know what Saturn energy is, look it up. It's the patriarchy energy. It's very strict, and it is very inhibiting if you are not out there creating good karma. So let me also talk about a download that I had, which made me clean up my fucking act really quick. So I basically got this understanding that you can get bad karma by treating yourself bad. Okay, so can we treat ourselves bad? Well, you know, the first thing we're worried about in the morning is our coffee and our, you know, sometimes I'll smoke a joint. And I'm like, okay, how's that feeding my soul, right? Okay, so we juice and then smoke a joint. No, I'm just kidding. But as I'm like sick, but you know, there is certain aspects of us that, you know, if we're like, let's say we're smoking tobacco and we know that this thing is a very bad habit for us in our lungs, way more so than like a joint with hemp paper and cannabis and hemp, you know, some hemp from the leaves and blah, blah, blah. We know that we're self-sabotaging, right? So then what is karma gonna do? What is Saturn gonna do? Karma is the feminine version of Saturn. You're gonna come in and show you what's up. You're gonna get really fucking sick when fall comes about, you know? You could have a health scare. You could, you know, there's different things that if you're not, you know, if you're self-sabotaging, you will get served. You know, let's say you don't brush your teeth, you know, you don't take really good care of this and that, you know, it will Saturn's gonna come up and he's gonna make sure you clean it up, you know, cause water spills, cause this to happen, that to happen, so that way you come in and you fucking get structured and you clean yourself up and you serve your karma. And that's what Libra season's gonna do. It's gonna make you be nice and balanced when it comes to, you know, to our karmas, to our, you know, our free will, and for all of these different laws of attraction that we have. You know, there's so many different dimensions that we have to find balance on, you know. We can, you know, are we using, you know, if you have a blessing that you have of abundance and you're out there using it for a bunch of fuckery that's hurting you, right? That's causing your aura to be, you know, put down. You know, if you're using your abundance to fucking hurt people. And I'll tell you right now, because our new ruler of the Aquarian age is Saturn and Uranus, Saturn is going to be very adamant with everybody needs to clean up their fucking karma before you come into my new age. Our last rulers were Jupiter and Neptune. Okay, so now we have new rulers. We have Saturn and Uranus. Uranus, you're going to be able to reach your Uranus energy, that energy of mass, fast change, like exponential change. But you got to serve your fucking Saturn first. And that means you live a good, structured, well-balanced life, a good life where you're using your free will to be a good person and to be a good person to your fucking self. You know, we will be a better person to people out here faster than we are here in some aspects, right? Purifying ourselves of our karma, purifying ourselves of people that make us be in a bad karma, right? If I'm in a relationship where I'm constantly giving to somebody and things are so imbalanced, we're not only creating bad karma for them, but I'm creating bad karma by staying there and not, you know, doing something about treating myself better. You know, putting myself in this higher place, like, wait, what? No, I don't want to be linked to somebody that treats me that way, because then I'm going to get bad karma. And now we're making contracts of bad karma, you know? Yeah. So really clearing ourselves out right now. We had big illumination energy. We got illuminated by our subconscious. There was subconscious things that we were doing from a subconscious place, okay? So let's say, you know, like, let's say fucking life's been rough, right? And how you've been handling it is really in a negative way, you know, over drinking, doing drugs, partying too much, whatever. You know, we got this like subconscious like feeling of like, damn, you know, like something's just not right. I'm maybe even getting pulled more into that moon energy, right? With Cancer season being highlighted. And what that was doing is really attracting us to what we needed to be served at that time, the lessons we need to be served, but also why we're subconsciously attracted to this shit. Why are we resonating at this stuff, you know? And a lot of that has to do with the things that we stuff down into the subconscious that we don't even maybe realize. And that's like the darkness, the shadows that we have to face, right? So illuminated that aspect, right? And then not only was that illuminated, but then Leo season brings it up to the crown chakra, right? We talk about the crown, that lion's mane, but then we also talk about that ego, that confidence, right? So there might have been things where we got brought up subconscious, we're like, oh fuck, and our ego was like, nah, this ain't gonna be it, you know, and it's taken over, and our ego took over. And hopefully by the end of the Lionsgate portal, you saw what was leeching onto you, the dark spirits that have been leeching onto you that are keeping you in this lower realm. And why? Because in a subconscious way, we are resonating, we are dinging at these places that we are not healed, right? You could think of it even as like your internal child or whatever, timing this like aspect of your soul that is like missing, and your body's like, yo, I'm gonna keep giving you this feedback in the 3D of having people that are not good for you to show you what you're not looking at in here. So boom, getting highlighted in the moon subconscious area in the heart space, right? And then we're like, oh shit, if you really did pay attention, for me, I was able to link it back to things that happened to me in my childhood, right? Trying to be validated by my parents in a certain way that I wasn't being. So what did I do, or what do I do in the outer world? You know, things like that. I ain't got no shame for shit that I've been through either. Because it's why I'm strong, you know? And then Leo season really showed us, okay, well, what are we gonna do about this? We're gonna light it with this fire, right? And go through the portal, you know, in finding out the ways that we need to heal, and go through and start that healing, and then go through the portal, right? And then really shed those things away with the Aquarius full moon that we had, right? A lot of parasitic energy, like just energy sucking energy that was highlighted to me. I know that. So I don't know about you guys. So then, yeah, come after really all of this illumination, what do? We integrate it, okay? We use this earth to ground all of that energy, right? All of this fire and this water, what do we want? We want it to be put into the earth. We want the sun energy to be put into the earth through the plants, right? And we want the water energy to nurture the plants and put that energy back into the plants, right? So we're having this beautiful exchange, but we need it to be put in the ground. We need to ground it, and now is the earth sign, you know, now is the earth season. And that Virgo season, where we go a little bit into hiding. We go into hermit mode. We go into a place where, you know, where we can be kind of one-on-one with ourselves and alone and integrating. Okay, when we sleep and we rest and we nurture ourselves, we're gaining this wisdom, right? This owl of nighttime, you know, is really here to show, you know, that it's nighttime, but it's also wisdom that we have gained and that we're integrating, right? And then the butterfly shows us the transformation we are also partaking in with that wisdom, and with that rest, right? And if you can see this portal here in the back, you know, what I see that as really is portals that we're closing. Okay, we can think of these portals as like energy suckers, right? These portals that we, you know, maybe our soul kind of left, and that piece of our soul we had to like put back and integrate, right? And closing those portals that are not gonna like seep out our energy everywhere, right? Really, yeah, just taking away this energy sucking hole, gaping, you know, this gaping hole, this black hole, right? That's just like stilling our light, right? Think about it. So what that is doing is, as we are, again, another Virgo card. So as we are resting, when we're resting, we are allowing our mind to really like let go, you know, and we're in our heart space. And we're grounding this energy and we're integrating it on a spiritual level, right? Which will therefore build here on the earthly plane. So we have the Eight of Pentacles, meaning we're seeing growth, we are seeing the abundance, right? And the Nine of Pentacles means that we're so self-sufficient that we're we're fine, you know, relationship or not, we are very self-sufficient, where 10 of Pentacles would be like relationship, home, you know, the resources that we have together type of energy, right? So 8 of Pentacles means that we are about to reap a really big abundance that we have been growing, trying to grow, or that we're finally growing because, again, we allowed all that illumination to take place in us. And like, okay, I see where, you know, even owl can be looked at as a spirit, right? I see where spirit really wants me to integrate and do this and that during my dark goddess season, right? Where we go into the underworld, we go into us, right? And we learn and we integrate and we use this dark time, this cold time, this fall and winter to hibernate, right? And rest and recoup after Halloween. Yes. Oh, look at all that abundance. Flowers. Fucking pentacles. Fucking gems. Statues. I see. It kind of looks like ivory. Which I hope there's other sources of ivory than what I think of. Yeah. We'll stop there. Yeah, a lot of gems. A lot of stones. So much growth and abundance, right? And I could just see myself like, oh my God, I'm so excited and just like hungry and like ready to watch those like last fruitations of like, you know, where everything gets ripe and it's just ready to, yeah, let's just put that out there really quick. You know, we're ready to see like our abundance. You know, we're ready. For me, I like to watch myself counting hundreds. You know, and you know, since I've been doing that, which I literally probably started about a month ago, I've been able to sit there and count my hundreds. You know, and have stacks of them and band them up. You know, and that's how I know, and that's how I like to show myself, you know, instead of putting it in a bank, sometimes I like to put it in a savings, you know, or in a safe, you know, and just put in those fucking hundreds in there really shows me, you know, and it materializes my fucking abundance, my growth, my, you know, it's just, when your money is right there and it's being shown to you instead of like having to log on an app, you know, for me really helps me, it helps motivate me because I just want to see it more. I want to see more and more, you know, and so that's like, you know, us getting excited about everything that we've been growing and being so proud of ourselves, right? When I see these flowers, I just see like we're smelling like success, you know. Yeah, but it's such a gentle, soft, warming feeling, you know. And this 3 of Pentacles, it came out in reverse. And that to me just says like we're no longer having to sit there and plan things out, you know, and really sitting here in a building phase, you know. We're coming out of that more building phase. And I think with us learning how to become more faithful in the dark and more faithful in the chaos and the darkness we've been served, and realize that the dark is the quantum of unlimited energy. Yeah, you know, then we can just like, okay, have faith, surrender. And you know, I receive better this way, right, instead of this way and trying to grab onto things. You know, you can't really receive trying to do this, right? Spirit wants an animal next. Purifying. Went through those waters that really cleansed us. went through the fire that really purified us, right? Fire can purify it to ash, right? Or it can resurrect it into the phoenix, right? Spirit's showing me both. It's showing me that part in Harry Potter when the phoenix all of a sudden just fucking goes up in ash, and Harry Potter's like, oh my god, it's dead. And then all of a sudden, a little phoenix has arrived, you know, has been born. Gazelle. I see fast and I see strategic movements, okay? And I see even kind of like side to side movements, but very gracious. Spirit says, especially in the hotness, right? In the safari, in the desert type of aspects, right? Where sometimes where those climates don't offer us water. So being strong in more of a deserty environment, right? So maybe more of a stagnant kind of, I'm seeing elusive, you know, like I'm seeing me out in the desert and there being that like, that kind of elusive, like, it's so fucking hot that it's like the earth or like the air is melting almost look, you know? What else came out? And deer. Interesting. Okay, so Spirit says, yeah, being very cautious and being very hidden, right? Kind of running off when there's people around type of thing. So kind of that hermit energy again, a little bit of a loner energy, does not feel very great, right? But it is keeping us safe, right? That's why deer... That's why deer, what? That's why our deer are like that, right? Yeah, so they can stay safe, they can find safety. And I think what Spirit's trying to say is like where we can be really in tune with our environment, that we know when to flood away when things are not safe for us, right? Yeah. When I see a gazelle, I'm literally picturing it being chased, right? And a lot of the times, if I'm thinking about the right animal, a lot of times they can get away, right? So I just see us being, oh yeah, really, oh, these are both very quiet animals too, right? Look how similar they look. Oh, okay, I'm gonna tell you another thing that I see too, but we'll start really quick. So yeah, having big ears, like really having listening well, right? Again, that Mercury energy is a communicator, right? So if we want to be hearing communication, we need to what? Shut our communication down. Shut this communicator down, right? Because this right here is constantly gaining information, right? That's why we do the sound bowls and we do the different chimes and the different mantras and noises, because we need to learn how to like shut this out by like you know, and really taking that down and sparking the energy here, right? So being able to listen to communication. There's a lot of Mercury energy right now. What is Mars in? Mars is in Gemini, yo. Our masculine is in this Mercury energy with the Mercury retrograde, with Virgo ruled by Mercury energy too season, right? So heavy listening energy, because we're, again, that sage. We are listening to the highest, right? And a lot of that has to do with us listening to our heart, right? Because this is who communicates with the highest, right? Our seat of our soul. So being in a more of a listening space, right, is what I'm seeing. What I'm also hearing from spirit is that we can either be more in this deer, being more sensitive and scared of, you know, even just the slightest sound. And I'm seeing like out in the like forest or even out by the mountains, right? Where the gazelle is straight out there like with some motherfucking lions, you know? So we can really be choosing which type of energy that we're really sitting in right now. We can know that we can be a little bit in our more masculine, where we're staying structured, but we're also staying more protected at this time, which is what we want, right? While we're listening out for the highest, instead of, you know, being in this more pure energy, which, you know, after we get illuminated and go through the Lionsgate portal, we really do feel really raw, right? So don't let that purity energy really scare you away from being able to relax and listen, right? Know that you also are so fucking protected, right? We can really look at, okay, this is also what I was going to show you. The deer is an earth sign. So this is a really feminine card. You can even see by the green heart space, right? The heart is more feminine. And then this is a fire. Actually, the gazelle is very fast, and this is a fire card. You would think a gazelle would be an earth, right? But no, it is fire. And when I think of fire, I think of a more masculine aspect of this. I mean, look how similar they look, right? So at this time, really choosing this masculine aspect will allow us to be a little bit more, feel more protected, more agile, more fast to react, more using our own masculinity and rebirthing of this masculinity that's happening, right, that I talked about, to know that we can get away from fucking lions if we need to, right, if the time calls for it. So compared to this deer, I don't think this deer would be like, oh yeah, I can run away from this fucking lion, or yeah, no. All right, and then the other two cards that popped out. Wow, the swan and the dragonfly. All right, so let's talk about the other aspect of this Virgo energy and this transition from Virgo to Libra. So Libra is ruled by Venus, okay? So Libra is a huge love bug, okay? It is where we do balance this feminine and masculine aspect, okay? So this is what I'm seeing. On our own, we are really actually sitting and integrating this higher source of energy for ourselves, okay? This sage energy, this energy that we have now learned our lesson and we've also lived it, right? So being able to like live it, experience it, but also learn the deep, deep knowledge of it gives us gnosis. Right? And this gnosis is what the sage is after, right? And that gnosis can be where we integrate this 3D experience, right? Experience into the higher realm consciousness and teachings that we receive from the highest, right? Again, Mercury is right next to the sun. The sun is truly signifies the Father in heaven, right? Or it signifies it as our biggest illuminator. It legit lights up the whole fucking day for everybody, you know, and in certain aspects at different times, of course, but you know what I mean? So, yes. Really, really allowing a lot of this Mercury energy. Okay, Mercury energy. Look it up, check it out if you already know what it is, you know, or even look at the aspects of Virgo and Gemini, and you'll really see, you know, what Mercury kind of serves to us. But yeah, becoming this sage of ourselves, becoming the higher being of ourselves, you know, the sage, the ascended master, you know, the hermit is like You know, the Magi, the Magician, the Buddha, the Bodhisattva, the enlightened ones, you know, it is this, it's even a level above the emperor, right? It's kind of known as like, almost like the priest, okay? Because it's this connector between the earthly experience, the masculine side, and the feminine gnosis, or the feminine deeper understanding of the heart space, right? And really putting those together to create this motherfucking abundance of growth, right? We need the soil and the water of the feminine, and we need the sun and the air to move the plant, you know, and we need all of that to grow all of this abundance, right? It's a mixture of all the elements, correct? Which, again, okay, so I'm getting a lot of all of a sudden relationship energy from all of these cards, okay? Swan is heavy relationship energy, and dragonflies, you know, you always see dragonflies mating, and you always see them in the air together, right? And they're together a lot of the time. There's a lot of times where you'll see majority of the time that's two of them always, and they partner. I don't know if they partner for life. I think they do, but yeah. But then I'm also seeing a lot of masculine and feminine energy. So this good balance, right? Good balance between ourselves, right? We can be in different environments as, you know, as these more deer-like energies, right? But we can be more masculine and have that confidence that we could be around lions, right? We could be around all these fucking cheetahs, all these crazy motherfuckers that want to eat me, right? But I know that I have these horns to help keep me more protected, and I know that I can strategically move and be more agile and faster and jump, right? But then there's also the feminine aspect of us too, right? Where we can be out gathering, eating more, nurturing ourselves, being in quieter environments too, that are not so, where we have to be in this like survival mode more so, right? And that is the balance that we're gonna really seek and really come to when it comes to Virgo season. And that's why it's so important for us to really focus on ourselves and everything that has been illuminated to us during these illumination periods, because now that we integrate that, we can integrate it into our highest being, right? We can integrate those lessons of experiencing and sitting with ourselves and really being the sage and listening to our own heart space and figuring out why, you know, what, how, you know, and that's what this timing is good for. You might even feel kind of pulled away from society a little bit more, because of the energy being so potent with the Hermit, energy, right? The Virgo energy, which is preparing us for Libra season, which again is ruled by Venus. A lot of heavy love energy, okay? But I also see Lady Justice and her holding a scale, you know, and her cutting with that sword of truth in the other hand, right? And sometimes Lady Justice, the Justice card will have Lady Justice with the blindfold on, you know, and it's just like, okay, is it balanced, you know? And let me cut with my sword of truth, you know, just, I'm not going to take in anything more. I'm not going to take in more, you know, I know what's in my heart, you know, and me being blindfolded, you know, is just like showing that I'm in such balance that I don't really need, my heart is in such balance that I don't really need to, I don't know, like I really don't need to think about it, right? When we cover the eyes, we're covering our intakers, right? Even our ears are maybe muffled, right? So there's a lot of energy that we're not taking in. So what are we doing? We're kind of like almost in a meditative state, right? Where we're blindfolded, so we're not taking in this info. And even having our ears covered, you know, being at the bottom of the ocean, you can't hear anything, right? So it's so like mystical, because you're literally in your heart space, right? You're in this flow. And that's what I hear with the blindfolding. Oh my gosh, my kids are playing upstairs and they're going fucking nuts. That's okay. The swan and the dragonfly. Okay, so what I'm seeing right now is, yeah, that relationship energy pretty heavy. The Libra season being a heavy, you know, where we fall in love, you know, that, what do they call it? Is it hitching season, or I don't know. What is all these fucking terms that I can't even think of? Basically, you know, it's cold, we want to have a cuffing season, that's what it is. So, you know, we're coming into this like relationship energy, and a lot of that does have to do with the Libra vibrations, right? And then when we get to Scorpio, we get ruled over by our sacred space and our genitalia. So we're just in this like lovey relationship, heavy, you know, sexual energy is coming. And so I'm seeing that, yes, the more we go within, integrate, see, ground all these energies, and become so grounded that we now understand how we have to go out and about this, you know, really going about listening to spirit. And, you know, these deer are always listening out to know which, like, oh shit, there's something coming, so they know which direction to go into, right? Because they're such good listeners. And I think that's what we're doing as well. And us finding this good balance between a more masculine and feminine aspect of that is going to be the balance that we're asking to have in Libra season. When it comes to Libra also being with the Lady Justice, we're going to also see a lot of justice being served from karma. So you know, all of that really can be purified and taken care of at this time before we even get into that space, right? So we can be more in this like love space, because Venus is love and war. It is birth and destruction. So if karma has something to serve to us, then we're gonna have to go through and destroy it, right? So it won't be a comfortable balancing, right? But if we can go through right now and be like, yo, I illuminated this, where I fucked up, this is where I'm going to be the sage, and I'm going to go and like transmute this energy and make it right? And I'm going to integrate my shadow, so now I know how to go about my healing, right? The healing that needs to be done to prevent me from all these things that I was illuminated about, right? And then, so we can do it in that aspect, or we can wait for Lady Justice to come through, right? But regardless, that balancing during Libra season is going to really help us find somebody. This is what I'm hearing from Spirit, because swans like represent like a lot of love and partnership energy, right? Find somebody that really, really reflects us, and our the white of the swan is just giving me like purity feelings, right? So this new found, you know, pure version of us, you know, whether we get purified by karma and Lady Justice, or we purify ourselves prior to Libra season during this Virgo season, right? Really going within and aligning ourselves like the Hermit does, like the sage does, right? And that is going to help us find a partner. And what I'm seeing with this dragonfly energy, okay, is somebody that we can really cover ground with, is what I'm hearing. That we can soar higher and see higher perspectives from, or we can soar into our waters and touch on our waters and our emotions, right? Where we can kind of like link up, right? And we when I see dragonflies linking up, I see them both using their wings. It's not like one dragonfly carrying the other. It's like them using their force of like them coming together, being like heavier so they go faster, but then 2 times the wings span or whatever, to go faster and farther and higher. And when I hear dragon, I think of fire, passion, right? But also, where does that fire come from? This infinite power source, right? That's why when you kill a dragon, you want to shoot it in its heart, because that's where its infinite power source is. But yeah, as the dragon, and the dragonfly, and talking about relationships, it's like a passion that sets your heart on fire, right? Maybe even shows you your inner dragon, right? And how we can use that dragon energy, even when we get aligned with people, we can both be dragons to each other. And the more similar, the more scary it really is, because we're seeing a more closer mirroring of ourselves, right? And what scares the dragon the most is its own reflection. So even having that like kind of that twin flame aspect really pulls in a lot of like Kundalini vibes with me, which is like a lot of serpent energy, right? And so I'm thinking even like the dragons in the last Airbender in Avatar, right? Avatar: The Last Airbender. Why am I saying that word? Where the 2 dragons come out, right? And the red and the blue. And that's what I'm just seeing, right? And sometimes when we meet somebody that's just like reflecting us so hard, it's hard not to like let the dragon out, right? And be scared and be angry or be triggered in some aspect, right? Yeah, that's what I'm seeing with that dragon card. Let's get a couple, let's get one archetype card, and I'm gonna just pull a quick vampire card. Or they will just shoot out at me. The vision, wow. Wow. Look at the owl energy on this one now. Ooh, okay, so the owl spirit is with us heavy with this reading. Why, spirit? I'm hearing cosmic wisdom. Why cosmic wisdom? It's showing. Sorry, they're showing me the movie The Fourth Dimension. No, The Fourth Kind. Yeah, with what's her name, Amelia? I don't know. She's so gorgeous though. Fuck. But basically, these like entities come to her, but they look like owls, right? What do they say they were? They're the Sumerians. Don't they say that in the... I need to watch that. I have the movie too. The Fourth Kind. Okay, anyways. What they're showing me is the owl being cosmic wisdom. So the owl kind of looks like an alien, right? Has this kind of alien... big head. Those alien eyes. Small mouth. This one is not a very good picture one, but let's see if I can make it actually focus in on that. Nope. But yeah, they kind of look like aliens. So what I'm hearing is just like a higher cosmic wisdom. This is where a lot of like people are getting downloaded with the Palladians and the Syrians and, you know, different cosmic wisdoms that are helping us understand what's going on in this earthly basis, right? Even if you haven't gotten that far into, you know, ascension learnings and practices, being even like in tune with astrology and the zodiac signs really give us a lot of more cosmic wisdom. And what I'm seeing here again is more, you know, relationship energy. I see that we did have to separate. We did have to be separated, you know, to gain wisdom and become, you know, become more wise, you know, but that's going to allow us to really come together, you know, and connect and commune and really be able to set our vision into motion, right? Because we are going to start aligning with people that are resonating at our frequency. Okay, so after coming out of hermit mode, which is kind of what we do during Virgo season, really going within, we are going to be therefore more purified and more aligned with ourselves, right? When I think of the sage, I think of him just knowing that his alignment and his practice, daily practice every single day, is what keeps him aligned with the messages of the highest, right? And allows us to see this vision into play, right? Look at the mountain, you guys. And it's like we almost, you know, and there's like one little entity in that mountain, you know, and I think that's like, it's like, okay, so this is us like showing our partners like, yo, not only did we have to like make it through this fuckery of like a forest, of a dense, dark forest, but we also had to climb this like snowy ass mountain, you know, and us really giving each other gratitude and also like, you know, planting seeds that are going to help us really come together, bring our visions together. And again, look at this fucking serpent energy. See the double serpent energy, guys. The dragonfly, the dragon energy. Really shedding together, right? When we talk about serpent energy and we talk about the snake, right? We talk about shedding. This beautiful being that has to constantly shed its skin, correct? And that's what we have to do, you know, year by year. We go through cycle by cycle, right? And us being able to really align ourselves is just going to help us really get this vision into play, right? And I can even really see it, honestly, as us still knowing that there is a certain coming together, but there's also this separation of like, hey, you know, this is who I am. That's who you are. I'm not going to try to change you. I could be a reflection for you. So if I trigger something in you, know that that's within you, right? If I project something onto you, I know that that's within me, right? There's different things that we can, you know, become in sync with and help us shed each other, like with each other, right? But also know that there are summits and peaks that we are gonna have to get to ourselves, by ourselves, you know? Relationships are coming to where we don't necessarily need one another to succeed and get to the top of these mountains, right? We know that we can come as the, you know, as the conqueror of the mountain, right? As climbing the highest mountains of ourselves, right? Reaching those high summits. Yeah, reaching new heights. I just see a lot of partner energy, and again, that has to do with the balancing we find within ourselves from purifying ourselves, right? Purifying our debts. You know, like the quickest way to helping you come, you know, into to where you can clean up your karma, right, is actually just stating the truth, sitting with the truth. You know, and where did that truth come from? All this illumination energy, right? Purify, clean up that soil, get it prepared for the dark times, right? Where, oh my gosh, how cool is this? Okay, so I was talking about fall, right? And how Persephone has to go do her journey into the underworld. Her last day in the light. This is the number 10 card. Unexpected endings, surprise changes, sudden shifts. You'll be very motherfucking surprised to know that as you purify your soul, you start to open yourself up to abundance. You start to make space for new, for things that are more aligned with you after going through you know, this purifying of ourselves, right? Knowing the truth. And what did they say? The truth lies with the devil. Have you ever heard that term? Yeah. Truth lies sometimes with the devil, with the darkness. And sometimes that like dark thing has to happen to us, that darkness, that unexpected change, right? Will really fucking like, you know, it could be like that. And you're in the dark, you know? Boom. 1 minute you're in this light with all these beautiful birds and all this growth, right? And then the next moment, she could be bitten by a vampire, right? And be immortal, be cold, go to the dark, right? Become a Maenad. I love this. Okay, so a Maenad, madness, ecstatic ritual, energy release, okay? So what I see with the Maenad energy is just this like ultimate like festival type of deal, right? Where people are maybe even like, let's say on psychedelics, they're drunk, they're dancing, right? And they're just going through this ritual of releasing energy, right? But it's from this like, I'm all dancing stupid, but it's from this feminine energy, okay? All right, I'm gonna read this card and wrap this reading up. It was way longer than I thought, but hey, your girl's always fucking talking and got a lot to say, right? The last vampire, it's just the one. 19. Both of them are around, or go up to 10. Both of them, 10. Fucking endings. Fucking like all of a sudden just like so much light and solar energy that it just blows that motherfucker up. And then all of a sudden it's ash, right? And then it's the phoenix, and then all of a sudden it just like arises into something great. All right, chill. Something mystical. Something dragon-like, right? Where it's very mystic and Maenad, madness, ecstatic ritual, energy release. Maenads are the female priestesses of the god Dionysius. Maddened by the fruits of the vine, what were we talking about? Wine, no? Oh no, I talked about that in my Patreon. Given the space of ritual, they descend into a ritual ecstasy, where an orgy of carnal delights, instability, frenzied dance, and gluttony are all allowed and celebrated. Within this space, the divine madness we all have, including you, is given expression and exhausts itself relatively safely. When she comes to you in this card, it is for you to now find a safe space to do what you have considered to be unsafe. in a safe and protected way. What does this mean? You may be longing to be free, wild, and to let loose, to cast off the chains and find expression in dancing, sex, parties, and intoxication. And she comes to you now, this creature who will devour you if you do not find a way to safely express these urges. For that is vampiric. The urge is to express the divine madness that will implode your soul if you repress it any longer. And that is when the vampiric maenad can tear you to pieces. That is when that is when addiction can find you. This is when overindulgence can stake its claim on your soul through your physical form. This maenad is watching you now, eyes brimming with poison, ready to infect you. So the maenad could be looked at as an addiction or some type of high that you like, to infect you if you do not begin to rediscover the beautiful madness of life in your own way. If you do not know, begin to have some if you do not now begin to have some dance, some joy, some loss of self-consciousness you battle with each day, she will find you and her leaves will poison you, even as they delight you. It's time for joy to be lived through you. It is time for madness. It is time to drink the nectar of love-making wine, laughter to the point where your belly hurts. It's time. So I'm not going to read the blessings or the curse. We kind of already went over that. Dancing, going out, and indulging in ritual that gives you safe escape valve for your wild urges needs to be created now. Or else you may find the virtues you have worked so hard to establish eroding. And if you do not, I keep going up. And if you do things in a sacred way, there will be a kind of beauty to this madness. No more control. Find a safe space. Find the safe people and go wild, just for a little while, within the temple you create. Do this and transcendence will follow. That field of self leads to it. And uniting with the great spirit, the great soul of this world and beyond. And when you go to this place and drink of the holy grail of life, you will return replenished, whole, and fully returned. This will bring strength. Okay? I love this. So Virgos, I'll be honest, are really known to be very pure with their diet, with how they stay structured, very detailed, with very serving themselves, again, especially when it comes to the digestive tract and how we purify ourselves, right? So Virgos are known to be very pure or very impure. And when they do fall off out of that impurity into the impurity, they will kind of go full board with it. Though they're very known to seek alcohol, drugs, sex, because we are, again, especially in the northern hemisphere, descending into the south, where the south is the sun is highlighting the southern area of the earth, meaning it's highlighting the southern region of ourselves, right? So we can really either purify ourselves and really know how we want to go about our journey in a more ascended and balanced way, right? That's going to help us align with people that are more ascended and more balanced. Because what does ascension do? What happens when we find and seek that balance? We seed the visions that we see ourselves, see for ourselves. see for not only ourselves, but a future partner or a future connection, relationship that we really want to put into this new world that we're creating, right? We are creating a new world, you know, and even us meeting in a place of destruction and impurity that's so heavily upon us can help us really purify, right? But first we have to find it in ourselves. Be that hermit, find it in ourselves, find our own balance, you know, and then we get aligned and we find that mirroring twin of ours, that soulmate that mirrors us, right, and resonates with us, is a reflection of us, and we ascend higher, go faster, go longer, farther, right? Mwah. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll be on here to do more readings. I've been away for a little while. Had to, again, go hermit mode for myself. That is where I'm able to reach my highest levels of ascension for myself, to help me really go through the darkness, which is the dark goddess time, which is my time. Yeah, to go in there strong and ready for anything. So, mwah.